A savage, vicious cycle is what it is. Okay, for the last week or so, I've been riding my bicycle across the same stretch of highway under the Shinkansen, the bullet train, every morning. And I've come to there's this one spot where the road narrows into a little bike path, a little pedestrian and bike path. And right next to that is the road where the cars go, and then it goes underneath the Shinkansen tracks. And I've never been able to figure out why there are always a cluster of pigeons, about a dozen pigeons, right there in the bicycle pedestrian way, cluttering the path. And as you come through, you can just barely avoid hitting these darn things. And I haven't been able to figure out why those were there. And I learned the answer this morning. They were there for carnage, for blood and for guts. And I've almost run over the pigeons a couple of times, and now I know that they get run over, in fact, by the cars and the bikes. This morning, as I was going through, I saved you the footage. I'm not going to take a picture of it, but I came across the bloody corpse of a pigeon right there in the road that had been hit by a car. Other pigeons and crows were pecking away at it. Blood was everywhere. It was a really gory scene. And I realized, oh my gosh, these pigeons are waiting to scavenge the blood and gore of their own as they get run over. And why is this a bloody, savage cycle? Because the pigeons, in waiting in anticipation of a meal, of basically a cannibalistic meal, they are in themselves, by their very nature, they're not getting away from things. They are waiting to become a meal themselves. So they're waiting, they're clustered around, gathered, waiting for a meal, and then one of them gets run over and they gorge on that, and then they wait in the cluster again, and then one of them gets run over and they gorge on that. By anticipating what will come, they basically invoke the act of carnage in them among their population. A fascinating example of a vicious cycle, a savage vicious cycle in action. I was startled when I saw that this morning, and I wonder now, as I continue my ride, I'm sure my thoughts will be moving along the lines of how those examples might be in our own lives, in other animals' lives, in biology in general, and how innate behavior can elicit such troubling circumstances in our lives. I'm going to be some food for thought for sure. Whew. Okay, well, now it's time for me to get back on the bike and head that way. See you guys. Bye-bye. Has this ever happened to you? You throw out a criticism or some complaint, and almost immediately find yourself being on the receiving end of the same criticism or complaint? It's an amazing system that I've noticed so many times in life, where the universe seems to teach us not to throw stones in glass houses, so to speak. And I was just complaining about the pigeons, and found myself in an almost identical circumstance not 20 minutes later. Well, basically, of course, I'm complaining that the pigeons were putting themselves in jeopardy while attempting to serve their own interest, showing up around to try and get a free meal, not realizing that they themselves would be the main entree on that meal, and disregarding their own welfare in attempt to serve their own welfare. And I just did the same thing. I stopped at a shrine to make a little video, and as I was setting things up, I knew that I was going to be attacked by mosquitoes, lots of mosquitoes there. I went ahead and went at it, and I looked down about a minute into the video, and my legs were just covered, dotted black with mosquitoes. And I was thinking to myself, I dashed them off, shut off the camera, and hopped back on the bike. And I was thinking to myself, that is just the perfect example of how the universe, I'm trying to serve my own interests, make a little video, and sacrifice my blood to the mosquitoes in the process. And I thought, I'm no better than those pigeons, except I should know better. I think I have enough brains to distinguish that was going on. So in fact, I'm worse than the pigeons. So my apologies to you, pigeons, wherever you are. I'm just as dumb as you. Or dumber. Yeah, okay. Yeah, probably dumber. Bye-bye.